You are tuned in to your dose of positivity. I am Marlene Motivates, and as I always say, just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
And to get mindset support, encouragement, and further positivity, join my channel membership. Hey everybody, I am Marlene of Marlene Motivates, and I am your channel for all things positive, encouraging, mindset shifting, and inspiration. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you. So welcome everybody. It's a little bit different. I think it's something that I'm going to start doing on this channel on Fridays. Fridays, we're going to have like some motivator support, some mindset support. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the topic, and then I'm going to put the link in here for you all to come up and share anything that you want to talk about. Today, we're going to talk about healing from the past, because that's very important. So let's see who's in the chat, and welcome everybody in. Hey, Miss V, how are you? Welcome. It's so good to see you. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Mr. Terry. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. Hey, Miss Demita. Joe, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you. So, everybody, I'm just going to go through the points that I have, and then I'm going to put the link in the chat for you to come up, share anything that you want to share. You know, this topic is about going from being maybe toxic or being very sad to being very happy and to get to be what you need to be. Because when we are going through some traumatic things in our life, when we have not healed from our traumas, it stops us from our progress, from our happiness, from our peace. So we're going to work on fixing those wounds that we may have, okay? So first we have to talk about, what does healing even mean? Healing means to make well again, to restore, to overcome. And this is what I want for all of you. I want you to feel restored. I want you to feel whole again. Because when we go through situations, especially traumas in our life, we feel so broken, completely broken apart, and we don't even know how to start. Like, how do we even get past this? How do we get over the hump? And it's very important for us to think about ourselves. We're very important individuals. um, Almost all of us, we are there for other people, we love on other people, and we also deserve to be loved on and considered. Hey, Miss Tracy, how are you? Welcome. I got a member in the house. Of course, all members drop exclamation point member to have your link dropped. So let's get into this, everybody. How do you heal from the past? So it's not as easy as just saying, I want to heal from the past. We have to be ready. That's point number one. We have to be ready to be healed from whatever it is that we have gone through, um, traumatic things, hurtful things, broken relationships, just unimaginable things happen to us in our life. And I don't want us to sit on our pain for our entire life, because I've seen it. We have to heal that. We have to forgive who we need to forgive, so that we can be okay, so that we can enjoy our life. Okay. So the whole thing is that we have to be ready. You have to want to be in a space that you're ready to let things go, that you're ready to say, I want to have the tools. I want to feel good about my life. I want to move on. I don't want to stay in this pattern of being triggered, of being angry, of feeling sad all the time. So I say to you, say to yourself, I'm ready to heal this. I'm ready to move on, okay? And that's the first step in our healing. We have to want to. You have to want to do better. You have to want better. You have to want to not be angry. You have to not want to be sad all the time. And it's normal when we go through traumatic things, when we go through hurtful things, for us to be sad for a time, but we should not be sad for too long. Life has to move on, and we need to have the tools. And that's why I wanted to do this discussion today, so that you know that you can move on. And you have to speak it over your life, and you have to speak it into existence and believe it. I can move on. I can heal the wounds. I can do better for myself because I want better. It's something personal that we have to want to do for ourselves. And I say to you, give yourself that permission to move on and to feel better about yourself. So be ready for healing. You have to want to move on and cope before you can. I'll say it again. You have to want to move on and cope before you can. Now, it's a lot that's involved in that being ready. It's you have to say to yourself, I don't want to be angry anymore. For so long, when someone hurts us, we want to be angry, and that's justifiable. When somebody hurts you, when somebody does something wrong to you, you have the right to be angry. You have a right to your feelings. You have a right to all of that. But we don't want to stay in that zone of being angry at somebody our whole life, because I'm telling you, the moments that you hold on to that resentment, you're angry at someone for what they did to you, I'm telling you, they have moved on. And even sometimes you're mad at people and they're not even here anymore. Those people may have passed on. They're not even around for you to be able to, talk to those people. So we have to have healthy tools, right? Oh, hi, Marianne. Welcome. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Welcome in, and everybody who's in here. If you could please give me a like, I really would appreciate it. Um, so we have to want to be ready for that healing. We have to want to move on. We have to want to be better than our past. And I know for a lot of people from times past, people never wanted to let go. Like if somebody did something to them, to offend them, to hurt them, they would take that to the grave. But we want better, right? And I know you want better, or you wouldn't be here, or you wouldn't be listening to this on the replay. I want better for you. So say to yourself, I want to heal this. I want to move on. I want better for myself. And a long time ago, maybe you were in a space and place where you were not concerned about that. You just wanted to be angry. You wanted to be mad. All of those things are fine. It's good to have those feelings that, it shows that you're human, that you're real, that you're living and you're breathing. But at a certain point, we have to move on. So I say to you, move on. Give yourself that peace. And healing is so important for us because it affects so many aspects of our life. When we start to think better, then everything else moves along with it. Okay. So, point number 2, we have to acknowledge what happened to us. Acknowledge what happened to you. When something painful happens to you, when a traumatic event happens to you, we must acknowledge what happened. And I know what you're going to say, but when we acknowledge it, it hurts. It's painful. I don't want to talk about it. It's like I'll relive it all over again. Yes, I know all of that is true, but to heal from problems, to heal from situations, to heal from pain, to heal from trauma, to be able to cope with your life from grief, we have to acknowledge what has happened to us, okay? And when we run from what happened to us, we can't feel better. We can't experience peace. We can't love on ourselves. We can't reach out and live in our present because we're stuck in the past. So when we acknowledge what has happened to us, we give ourselves our power back. You get your power back because when you are angry with somebody and you're resentful about what they did to you, they have the power. When you release them from that, when you acknowledge this is what I'm going to do with what happened to me, you get your power back. You get stronger. So I say to you, acknowledge what happened to you. And it's very important during this time to write this down. This is what happened to me. Whatever it is, whether it was a painful situation, whether it was a trauma, whether it was a grief, whether it was a breakup, either romantic or friendship, something that happened to you and it caused you a lot of hurt and pain. We must acknowledge what a person did to us and how we are dealing with it. This is how we show that we're mature, that we are dealing with things, that we're trying our best to cope with it. We must acknowledge what has happened to us, okay? And that's how we heal. So let's not run from our past anymore. Let's not run from the traumas. Let's not push it in the closet, ignore it, because ignoring things is usually how most people deal with things. Well, I just won't talk about it. Just because we ignore things, it does not make it disappear. Okay? And it's not easy to say, this happened to me, and this hurt me, and this made me sad, and this was a traumatic event. And when this person died, this is how I felt. But it's very important to say those things so that we can get help. We help ourselves when we can say, this is what happened to me. I acknowledge what happened to me. I acknowledge who hurt me. I acknowledge that I'm sad. I acknowledge that this person traumatized me. We must acknowledge what happened to us so that we can move on, so that we can enjoy our life. See, because we're held hostage in pain when we don't say, this is what happened to me. This is what hurt me. See, take your power back, my motivators. It's very important for us to take our power back, because if we ignore things, we're not helping ourselves. We're hurting ourselves, and we're holding ourselves hostage in a sea of pain. Don't stay in a sea of pain any longer than you have to. Don't ignore it, because things won't go away just because you are ignoring it. Okay. Point number 3, take accountability for what we did. Now, I know when we talk about healing, we really don't want to say what did we add to the pain. Okay. But we must say, as human beings, as responsible ones, as mature human beings, why did this happen to me? Take accountability for the role that you played in what happened. Sometimes maybe it was nothing to do with you. Maybe you did nothing, but sometimes we allowed people to take advantage of us. We allowed people to do wrong things. We saw red flags and we ignored it. Now, this is how we stop the same cycle of pain from happening to us again and again, because we see it all the time. We see people who make the same mistakes, who do the same things, and then you're in a cycle of pain because you won't acknowledge what you have done to make it continue to happen. Okay, so take accountability for what you did. I take accountability for what I did. You take accountability for what you did, and then you have to forgive what you couldn't control. There are some things in our life that happen to us that we have no control over it. Maybe you were a child. Maybe you were unaware of the situation. Maybe you were blindsided. And especially if it's something like a traumatic, something that happened, that somebody passed away, there, you have no role to play in that. Some things that just happen to us because of circumstances and life just happened to you. So you have to forgive what you couldn't control. There's so many things that happen to us that is beyond our control. Don't blame yourself, okay? Because in this space of healing, we must say, there's nothing that I could do about it. So, whoever needs to hear that, please stop blaming yourself for what happened to you. It is not your fault that you were hurt. It was not your fault that someone passed away. It's not your fault what something happened that you could not control. Forgive it. Say, this is what happened to me, and I'm going to let it go because I only could do what I could do. Hey, James Money, happy Friday. Welcome. How are you doing? We have to take accountability, okay? We have to take accountability, and we have to accept. Hold on. We have to take accountability for the things that happen to us, and we have to put ourselves in the driver's seat of our life. We cannot blame everybody for everything. At a certain point, we have to forgive what we can't control. We have to forgive what other people did to us, okay? We have to accept what we can't change. When something has happened to us, when somebody has hurt us, we can't control what another person did. We can't control the actions of other people, but we have to accept, this is what happened to me, and I can't control it. I can't do anything about it. That's outside of my reach. It's outside of what I could do, okay? Now let's move on to point 4. Make space for the new. To heal from the past, we have to remove everything. Like when we were talking about taking accountability for what we did, that means that we had to say, this is what happened to me. This is what I did. This is what they did, and I'm not going to let what happened to me have power over me any longer, okay? So when we're making space for the new, we are going to release the negative and make room for the positive. This is so important. When we make space for the new in our life, we're blocking out all of the bad things, all the negative, everything that was in the negative spaces in our mind, everything that was hidden in the closet that we want to get rid of. We don't want to feel that pain anymore. See, we're making space for the new. We're making space for peace. We're making space for joy, okay? And I want you to make space and make room for your healing. And I want you to speak it out loud. I make space for my joy. I make space for my potential. I make space for my healing. See, I want you to be healed. I want you to feel good about yourself. But we must say to ourselves, I make space for my new. And welcome in, puzzle pieces. Hi, Nexie. How are you? Welcome. Happy Friday. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you are well. Okay, everybody. So we were talking about making space for the new. Why is that important? When you have all of these negatives in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit that you are just dragging around, we have to clear out all of that negative mental junk. We have to allow our spirit to be revived and to be new and say, I'm going to replace everything that I think. I'm going to clear out all of these negative thoughts. I'm going to clear out everything that somebody may have said to you that hurt you. Everything that is not a positive thing. I'm going to clear all of it. And I call that a mind dump. Do a mind up on your mind. Everything that hurt you. And I want you to write all those things down. They did this to me. 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 And then I want you to, in your mind, picture your mind hitting the backspace of everything that someone said to you. You were ugly. You were stupid. You were this. You were that. You're ugly. You can't do anything. You're a fool. Imagine in your mental space getting this clarity, backspace, delete, delete, delete everything that somebody has said to you that has hurt you. And now I want you to see that whole space. Your mind is clear now. You're clear of all of it because you are making room for the new. So, what is in that new space? Positivity, encouragement, joy, and peace. We're going to put all of that in place of all of those negatives in the space of all the doubt. And we're going to put in the new. See, we're going to make ourselves brand new on today. I want you to speak over your life. Today, I am made brand new. All it is making a choice, making a decision to live, to make a decision to thrive, to make a decision to have peace, to make a decision to say, I'm not going to let what hurt me in the past hold me hostage any longer. Do not let what hurt you harm you. It's in the decisions that you make. It's in allowing yourself to be free to fly. That I'm going to follow my dreams now. I'm not going to let the things that other people said, I'm not going to let what happened to me, I'm not going to let what made me sad, I'm not going to let the fears, the doubts, the projections of other people hold me hostage any longer. I say to you, release it and be free. Release it and be free. And I want you to say that to yourself. I release it and I let it be free. See, we're clear now. We're clear and we're not going to bring that up anymore because what hurts you now is what is going to heal you. See, we're going to take all of the things that hurt you and we're going to turn all of those things into passions. We're going to take all of those things and we're going to give back to others. We're going to encourage other people. We're going to love on ourselves. Every time when somebody said we weren't anything, now we're going to replace that with I am something. See, it's all about making the past something that will help us to be in our present whole. See, we're no longer broken anymore. See, we're healed over here. Everything is about what you are telling yourself. What are the conversations that you have in your mind? See, until you start telling yourself, I'm okay, I'm moving on, I'm strong, I'm not going to let what another person said, I'm not going to let what another person did, I'm not going to let for the people who were in my life, though I love them and they're no longer here, now it's my turn to live. Now it's my turn. Now it's your turn to live. See, we have to take ownership of our life. I want you to take ownership of your life on today. Maybe before you did not have those thoughts, but today, with this conversation, with this live stream, it's a new day. It's a new opportunity. It's a new thought for you to grasp. I'm not going to let the past hold me hostage any longer. Today, I'm going to take control of my life and I'm going to claim peace over my life. I'm going to claim prosperity because it is what I deserve. Okay? And you say that to yourself and you say it over and over again. I release it, I heal it, and I speak positivity over my life. I speak good things over my life. I am going to do great things. Hi, Jinx Journal. Welcome. Okay, then point number 5 is very important when we are healing our past that we seek help. Seek help. And seeking help means an outlet. We have to have an outlet to get things out of our head. Okay, we have to find a way to cope with our life. And if you don't find an outlet, if you don't find someone that you can share the things that you have going on in your mind, the things that you're frustrated about, you must talk to somebody, whether it's a counselor, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through prayer, whether it's through exercise, but we have to find a way to release and get out the things that we are holding hostage inside of us. And we may not want to talk about it. Maybe you don't want to see a therapist. Maybe you don't want to go to a counselor, but you must, even if you just take a notebook and start writing out, this happened to me and this happened to me, and I don't want to feel this way anymore. But we can't stuff everything down on the inside of us. We must seek some help. You must get some spiritual, emotional, and mental support so that you can be present in your today. You can be present physically, because if your mind is not okay, if your emotions are not okay, if you don't feel spiritually supported, you will not be okay. All of those things come together so that you can feel healed and whole. So seek, seek some exercise. Exercise is a good way to release any of the pain that you have, running, jogging, kickboxing, tennis, whatever it is, some sort of thing that you can release. And I love that when I am doing an exercise and I'm trying to release something that I'm going through mentally, picture yourself knocking out whatever that pain was, like releasing it or removing it far away from you. Another good one is taking a ball and throwing it, and picture yourself every time you take that ball and you throw that ball, you're casting aside that pain, you're casting aside your fears, you're casting aside your doubt, and you're allowing yourself to, when you get the ball back, now I take my power back, now I take back ownership of my life. So I feel like that's one of the best things that my therapist helped me with, that throwing a ball. And then when you take it back, you're taking back ownership of your life. Remember, this is your life. It's your life. And you have to make a decision how you want your life to be. Do you want to be happy or do you want to be miserable? Do you want to be sad or do you want to be joyful? And we have to take ownership of our life. And nobody is going to make you joyful. Nobody is going to make you have peace until you make a personal decision to have it and to claim it over your life. Okay? Point number 6, Get some support. It's very important that in these times when we're healing, that we don't try to do everything on our own. And I know that that's something that I try to do. We always think that we're so strong and I'm just going to hold on to this and I can get through this and I can do it on my own. And we can't. Everybody needs support. So whether it's through a support group for whatever it is that you're healing from, they have many groups and it does not have to be an in-person. We can do Zoom online supports. They have them on Facebook. They have them on Instagram, all type of support groups. But please get into a support group so that you can heal from whatever it is that you're going through. They have support groups for the people who have lost children, who have lost spouses, who have lost family members, um, those who have divorced, those who have broken up in relationships, those who have had toxic relationships, like those who have been in a relationship with narcissists, so or family members that are toxic, those who are have gone through domestic violence. So whatever it is, whatever it is that you have been through, whatever it is that has hurt you, there is support out there. And I'm asking you, please get some support. We all need support and we all need help. So if you can't get support through a group, if you are a person and you are a spiritual person and you believe in it, if it's your belief system, don't discount prayer. Prayer can help you to feel support. It grounds you, okay? And also, when we talk about support too, we have to meditate. Don't just think that you can handle and ground yourself through your situation on your own. You have to find a way to get back it to balance, and meditation is a big help. Okay, everybody, get ready. Those of you who have something to share about how you have healed from the past, or you can talk about something that you've gone through and how you are today. I'm going to put the link in the chat in about 10 minutes. Okay, so get ready. Point number 7. You have to have an emotional release to heal from your past. An emotional release. What does that mean? If you are holding in all of your pain, you will be just like a volcano, and you never know when that volcano is going to erupt. You will erupt at it one day. You're going to have an explosion and just go off, or you're going to have a mental breakdown and just start crying your eyes out. But we can't hold in everything constantly, and don't think that you have to be strong for everybody. You have to be there for yourself. You have to be okay. And I didn't understand that when I went through a few traumatic situations, and I always thought I had to be strong. I got to be strong. I have to get through this. I can't break down. I don't have time to break down. You're a human being. You have feelings. You deserve, if you need to shed tears, then shed those tears. If you need some support, get some support. If you need to pray, if you need to meditate, you need to go for a jog. But we must do things so that we can be okay. We must release those things. If you don't, you're going to have a mental breakdown, you know. And it also goes into our physical health too. We get certain diseases and sicknesses because we don't deal with what we need to. So release it. Have an emotional release. Cry, vent, scream, but we must let it out. Let it out. It's okay. It's okay to scream at the top of your lungs. It's okay to break a few things. It's okay to cry, but we must release what we have been through, what we have gone through, so that we can move on and be healed and be okay in our present. Know that it's okay. I know for a long time, I never used to understand how important it was. I was like, I'm not gonna cry. I'm good. I'm good. I'm okay. And we put on this fake plastic smile, this shield. We put on a mask and tell everybody, yeah, I'm okay. And we walk around smiling, and we really aren't. So please stop saying you're okay when you're not. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be human. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay to cry and vent. It's okay to need support. It's okay to seek therapy. It's okay. No, you're not alone in feeling this way. That there's millions of people who feel just like you do, okay? Have an emotional release. Don't be that volcano that just erupts one day, or you get some sort of medical problem, your blood pressure is sky high just because you won't let yourself feel what you need to feel. Release. Be free so that you can move on, okay? Point number 8, reinforce with reinforce with new and old concepts. So that means when we have gone through something in our life, when we have been through some traumas, we have to speak some affirmations over our life. It's very important for mindset support. So when you have been through some things, especially if you've been in a toxic relationship, you have to remove those toxic thoughts, and we have to replace it with some positive things, that I can do great things, that I'm somebody, I can get through this, I'm worthy of a change, I can do anything, I celebrate myself, I love myself, I can change, I can do better, I am better, I deserve better. We must speak those things over our life in order to feel good in our present. See, we don't want to wait till the end of our life and say, "Man, I wish I would have let that go. I wish I would have healed. I wish I would have forgiven a person. I wish I would have got some support. I wish I would have just cried. I wish I would have just been angry." Don't live your life with regrets, you know? Don't live your life with regret, you know? For mindset support, it's very important how we show up to ourselves. Remember, you get one you. You're a very important individual. Very important. So understand that when you feel good mentally and you're supported, you're supporting your own mind mentally, you're going to support yourself emotionally. Because when your mind isn't okay, that's when you have to break down. You're crying, and you can't control anything that you're doing or saying, because you haven't worked on yourself. You haven't supported your mind. And we must support our mind and strengthen it and tell ourselves that we can get through things, and that I'm strong and I love myself and I can get through this, and I'm my own best friend. I love myself, okay? No matter what has happened to you, no matter what anybody else did, no matter who has left your life, remember you always have yourself. Seek friendship with yourself. It's very important to be your own best friend. It's nice to have friends that love you, family that loves you, other people that care about you. But at the end of the day, you must be okay with you. You got to be okay with yourself, and you have to love on you because you deserve to. You're somebody important and special. So support your own self, reinforce your own concepts with some new ones. Because when we go through things, sometimes we don't always feel like we're important. We don't always feel like we're special. We don't always feel that we can get through something, but you can. Okay. This is two more two more tips, okay? Number 9, when we heal from our past, we have to find some new norms, a new routine, because maybe your old routine had those toxic people in it. Maybe it had somebody who has is no longer in your life. So we have to have a new norm, something that we enjoy outside of what we have always done. Get a new routine, something that maybe you've always wanted to do. Maybe you've always wanted to join an exercise class. Maybe you've always wanted to run, get a bicycle, get a treadmill, but get a new norm of something that you want to do. You don't have to do what you've always done, because I'm telling you, if you do what you've always done, you're going to stay in the same place. So let's get a new routine. Maybe you're going to start to maybe try some new things for breakfast. Maybe you're going to try a new route to work. Maybe you're going to change your car, seek some new friendships, maybe start going and reading, getting outside, enjoying nature, giving yourself 10 to 15 minutes in the beginning and the end of the day for yourself to get your mind together. But form a new routine. That's very important when you are seeking to heal. If you keep doing the same thing, and I, for one, am definitely a person that when I was sad and going through the trauma of what some people had done to me, I just isolated myself and just stayed home and then let my mind go crazy, thinking some crazy thoughts. The best thing that you can do is to get out of the house, get some fresh air, you know, just sit in a space and just be and enjoy some nature. Enjoy your own quiet time. Get into your own thoughts. Think about what you want for your life. And that's what I mean about a new norm. Maybe before you were focused on only helping that person in your life, only being a support for maybe who passed away, or maybe the person you were in a relationship with, or maybe you were always there for that friend or another individual. But now it's your time to seek a new routine. What do I want? What do I like? What do I want to do? It's very important to do this. Find a new routine, a new norm, and stick to it because you deserve to have a new routine, something that you enjoy for fun. Bring some fun and some joy into your life, okay? Now, this is the 10th and the last point that I have. Focus on your wellness, and your wellness is your overall being. And I know a lot of people think about wellness as just self care, but wellness is about so many things. And I came up with an acronym that will help you, and it's TFVA. TFVA. So it's think, feel, vibrate, and act. So let's start with the first one. When we're focusing on our wellness, we have to work on our mind, our thinking. Sometimes our thinking, when we go through some difficulties, some painful situations, our thinking is not right. We think unhealthy. And that's why it's so important for, just like before, to work on finding some new affirmations for ourselves, work on something that is going to help us to be in a right thought process for our life, right? So we want to think better. And we do that by supporting our mind, by putting some positive things, find yourself some positive quotes. Buy a few books and start thinking of some positive quotes, or make a positive quote for your life. But we have to focus on our mind. And when our mind is thinking positive, our wellness is going to follow. So make sure that you're thinking positively over your life, because the more that we think positive, the more that we can feel better. Okay? So the next acronym is F. So we've just finished on T, we're going to F. Feel. We really don't go by how we feel enough. We push those things to the side. We put everybody over our feelings. You may put your children, you put who you're in a relationship with, you put your friends, you put your job, you put everybody over, and you feel tired, you feel stressed out, you feel all these ways, but you push it aside and you just say, well, I have to do this, and they need me. But what about yourself? What about how you feel? What about you getting some rest? What about you taking care of yourself? See, when we speak about our overall wellness, we must talk about our feelings. How do you feel? Are you doing okay? Are you okay mentally? Okay, that's so important to do. So, point the third part of this acronym, the V, vibrate. See, when we go through things, our vibration will be really low, and you'll feel really sad. You'll feel really discouraged. And this is the time usually where you're not feeling so good about yourself. Maybe you don't have a lot of support from other people. People have backstabbed you, hurt you, you're going through a lot. This is the time where you really have to raise your vibration. You have to start thinking about yourself more. You have to project things in the future about what you want for yourself. You have to see yourself in the future doing great things. So raise your elevation of your mind, and everything else will follow. Vibrate higher. Don't settle for the low vibrational people who want to project all of their fears, their doubts, whatever they're going through. You elevate out of that and push all of that, whatever everybody else is saying, whatever other people are doing. Don't make your life be what other people want you to be. It's about, what do you want? See, we're going to start focusing on that. We get aside from thinking about ourselves because we think that that's selfish, and it's not. Loving yourself is not selfish. You get one you. You cannot be there for other people if you are not there for yourself. So let's think about ourselves and elevate our thinking, vibrate higher, strengthen our mind power. Okay. And the last of the acronym is A, ACT. And this is the hardest part of focusing on our wellness is we know what we need to do. We know when we need to do more self-care. We know when we need to rest more. We know when we need to release things and let go. We know when we need to eat better. We know that we need to speak more positive things over our life and encourage our own mind, and get away from people who are negative. We know all of that, but it's another thing to do it. Are you doing what you need to do? Are you doing what you should for yourself? Well, we know what we should do, right? But are we doing it? So act. It's all about the actions. Take care of yourself. Love on yourself. Be your own friend. Act in a way that you can feel better, because when you feel better, you're going to show up. Your energy is going to be high. You're going to feel better, and you will look better. Okay. So, those are all the points that I got. I'm going to do a recap, and then I'm going to put the link in the chat. Let me do that first. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much for your support always. And let me put this link in the chat. Okay. Let me put the link in the chat. I don't know why it's not doing it. Hold on one second, guys. I'm going to have to. I don't know why. I always have to go out and come back in order to put this link in the chat. Okay. Okay. I don't know why, but my the chat stopped here. It's very weird. I hate when this happens. I miss all of these comments. My chat stopped all the way from when Jinx journalist came in. Very, very weird. Okay. Uh, Jinx journalist says, "Good evening and thanks for the inspiration. So very true for inner peace to return. Started therapy 5 weeks ago, doing much better since leaving domestic abuse." I'm so proud of you, Jinx. Yes, Mr. Terry, an emotional purge. Next, he says, "I got a punching bag to exercise and throw away my old hinders." Awesome, Nexie. I love to hear that. Uh, hey, Nancy. How are you? Welcome. Let's see what else I missed. Great tips. Thank you. Yes, a new atmosphere. Hey, Miss V. How are you? Welcome in. Good to see you. Let's see. Yes, Jinx Journal. Yes, captain of your own ship for sure. Okay. I will check out that Bible verse. Thank you. Okay. Awesome. 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 So those are all the points that I have for you guys. You all are welcome to hit the link. This is the part of the live stream where I put the link in the chat for those of you who are looking for some motivational support, some mindset support, some encouragement, because I give you the tools, the things that will help you. And while I'm waiting for someone to come up, I'm going to do a recap on everything that I talked about. How do you heal from your past? Healing means to make well again, to restore, to overcome. Healing is for you, okay? See, the first point is that we have to be ready for healing. We have to want it. You have to want to move on. You have to want to cope before you can, okay? Point two, acknowledge what happened to you. We run from what happened thinking that it makes it better, and it doesn't. Just because we ignore something, it does not make it better for you. Point three, take accountability for what we did. We sometimes allow people to run over us. We allow people to be a doormat, and we do nothing and we say nothing. So take accountability for what we did so that we know what to not do moving further. And also, we have to forgive what we couldn't control. There are some things that happened to us, some traumas that happened to us. It was beyond us. We couldn't do anything about it. It was just life. Life happened. So forgive what you can't control. Accept what you cannot change. Okay? Point four, make space for the new. To heal, we must make space for the new. So, whatever happened, we have to take all of those things that we have in our mind, all of the things that you have in your heart, all of the anger and the resentment, and we have to picture ourselves in our mind just like a keyboard pressing the backspace or the delete button. To backspace, backspace, remove it all, delete it all. And then when it's empty on the inside, you've dealt with it, you've talked about it, you're coping with it. Now we have to replace, we have to uh, make space for the new thing. So when we release that negative, we can make room for the positive. Because if you don't replace that negative with a positive, you're going to go back to your own old ways, and you're going to continue to be negative. So when you say positive things and speak positive things over your life, you're most likely to not go back to the negative. So replace that negative with a positive. Point five, seek help or an outlet. We have to have an outlet to get what we have been through, to get what we have gone through. You have to have somebody to talk to, and you have to find a safe space to share your feelings. You just don't want to tell anybody and everybody your personal, your private thoughts, the things that you have gone through. But just know that you can talk about it to somebody that you can trust, but you have to find a place to filter all of the negative, because there's a lot of negative things that happens to us, painful things, traumatic, sad things, frustrating things that happen to us. And if you don't filter all of those negative things out, we can become toxic, we can become overwhelmed, we can have a mental breakdown, we can start getting sick, we can develop different illnesses just because we are not allowing ourselves to deal with what we have been through. Okay, so so you can be present physically. You have to talk your way through it. You have to get into some exercise. You need some spiritual and some emotional support, but you must find an outlet to release it and let things go. Hey, Estad. Hey, Wellness with Frugal Mama. Welcome in. Thank you so much to all my members and my moderators. I definitely agree with you. Makes you physically out, especially in the mind. Exactly. Yes. So the link is in the chat for anybody who wants to come up and share something that has helped them to move from the past. What are some ways that helps you to cope? Um, Point number 6, get some support. Support can be through a group support, whether online or in person. There's prayer, there's meditation, but just the most important thing is for whatever you have been through, whatever painful situation, don't go through whatever you have been through alone. There's many people who have been through the same things, and they're there. They'll listen to you. They're going to support you. And there is strength in numbers when you know that another person went through it just like me, and I'm not alone. I'm not the only person. It encourages you. And I want you to be encouraged. I want you to know that you're not the only one going through things. I have been through things, okay? And point number 7, to heal from what you have been through, you have to have an emotional release. You must have an emotional release. If you don't, you're going to be just like a volcano. And we all know that a volcano at any time it can erupt. We don't want to be like that. We don't want to be a person who's triggered, a person that nobody wants to be around because we have to walk on eggshells because you're a walking time bomb. We don't want to be that person. I don't want you to be that person. I want you to be happy. I want you to be secure. I want you to be emotionally stable. And until you deal with your emotions, until you cry through it, until you vent, until you scream, until you find a way to release it, but you must let out the things that have hurt you. Don't think you can just hold it in all the time and you'll be okay. Everybody's human, man and woman. Everybody needs to have an emotional release. Don't hold everything in. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. Do it for yourself. Love yourself enough to say, I'm going to release this and I'm going to let it go so that I can have my peace, so that I can have my sanity, okay? So that I can move on and do what I need to do for me, okay? Point number 8, reinforce with new and old concepts. So this is very important for mindset support. Those affirmations that we have, it's important to have very positive affirmations. Speak over your life. I can do great things. I will get through this. I am strong. Uh, I am encouraged. I am somebody. I can do great things. I love myself. It's very important to reinforce your mind when you go through situations, when you feel sad, because if you don't, it's going to make you be even sadder and it's going to get you stuck in a cycle of pain. Okay. So we support yourself and reinforce your mind. Okay. Because when we feel good mentally, we are supported emotionally. Okay. Point number 9, find a new norm. Find a new norm, a new routine. Maybe what you did when you were in a toxic relationship or when you were around people that are no longer here. Don't keep the same routine because it's going to punish you. Find a new norm. Start doing something new. Maybe join a class. Get a find a book. Do something that you've always wanted to do. Get out in nature. Find some friends. Enjoy life. I think that's the most important thing. When we go through things, we kind of shelter ourselves, hide ourselves away, isolate ourselves from everybody else. But no, I want you to get out there and enjoy life. Find a new norm, a new routine. Enjoy your life, okay? Let's see. What happened? I don't know what happened. Last time I shed a tear was 2008. Oh, East Dad. That's not good. That's not good. Everybody needs to shed tears. I say men and women, everybody has something that they have been through, that they have gone through. Everybody. And it does not make you less than a man or less than a woman because you cry. Everybody needs to cry at a certain time. We're not robots. We're all humans, right? I used distraction when I began to think about negative, which has helped me so much. Yeah, we all need to cry. All of us. All of us needs to cry. All of us needs to release, to vent, to talk to somebody and to get some support. Okay. And this is the last point. Focus on your wellness. Do things that is going to help you to think, feel, vibrate, and act better. It's about your overall wellness. Do it for yourself. Okay. So I just, the link is in the chat. I don't know if anybody wants to come up, or maybe today nobody is going to come up. I don't know. But the link is in the chat for anybody who would like to share something that they have gone through, something that has helped them to cope with their life, and to get stronger, because it's very important for us to heal from the things that we have been through. It's very important for us to feel heard. And if you don't feel heard any other space than here, just know that you are heard. I hear you. I see you. I acknowledge you. You are somebody. You are valuable. And you are important. Okay? So do it for yourself. Take care of you. That's one of the most important things for us to do. Think about yourself. Know that you're not alone in anything that you want, anything that you are seeking. Keep going. Keep your head up, and be encouraged. Know that you're not alone, okay? I want to encourage all of you to keep going. I encourage all of you to be strong, but also to know you're not alone, and to talk to somebody that you trust. Get some support. Cry if you need to. Focus on your overall wellness. Take care of yourself. Get a new routine. Have some fun. Get out and enjoy life. And know that you're not alone. Okay? I just want to encourage everybody today. Um, awesome. Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody's support today. I don't think anybody's going to come up today. I was hoping somebody would, but it's all good. You guys maybe just needed to listen to me today. Oh, Nexie is here. I was just I was just about to
You were
close.
just about to close down,
I was
weren't
I
you?
was like I was like
I was
okay.
trying to get my last bite in.
I was like okay. I was about to say okay,
Hi,
goodbye.
chat. Hi, Marlene.
Hey, Nexie, how are you?
I'm good. Just listening to you. I started a little late, so I guess I'm gonna have to go back and do the replay. But um, I went to therapy for like 4 or 5 years, and from time to time, I still go back. It's not something that you want to give up after you're done with your therapy. It's not something that you just want to do the one time and give up. No, you have to continue to. There will be challenges. There will be um, trials that you're gonna have to go through life. But if you have a good therapist, you can always go back. You don't have to go the full 4 years or 2 years or 1 year, whatever it is that you had to do in the beginning. But three, 2, 3 sessions, 4 sessions is good enough to get you back in track.
Mhm.
I lost my dad last year,
So
and
sorry.
oh, thank you, Marlene. Thank you. And he was back home, so I couldn't be with him. I couldn't, be with him on the last days, or I said goodbye to him the day before, but I had, because of the guilt, and the anger and everything that I felt, I had to go back to therapy. I did 6 more sessions, and just to make sure that I was okay, because I was getting to a point where I was becoming very angry. Remember, I told you that I was very angry.
Yeah.
And so I went back And that has helped me. And I think that without therapy, I would have not been able to be who I am today, as far as overcoming everything that happened in my childhood, yeah, part of my adulthood and everything else. But I think I would have not been able to be a good role model for my kids and other people. So that helped me a lot. Like, you can deal with it one way or another, but until you deal with it professionally, it's always going to be there. The problem is always going to be there.
I find that it's like it haunts you until you face it and you say, I'm not afraid of you anymore. I'm going to face it and I'm going to talk about it. It's like it holds power over you until you acknowledge what happened to you.
Yeah, exactly. It took me many years to have the courage, because that's what exactly what it takes. It takes courage for you to say, I need help. I have to look for a therapist. I have to do something, because if not, I think that by the age of 40, I'm going to be crazy, you know? And it takes a lot of courage to get to that point, to see yourself in with those with through that lens, as it said, the saying goes, because you're so proud of yourself that the last thing is that you want to know, or you want to see through that lens, is that you're broken. You put, like you said, such a good face in front of everybody. The last thing you want to let these people know is that you're not that person, like that you are broken. And I'm always encouraging people, go to therapy, seek professional help. And why do I emphasize that? Is because you can talk to friends, you can talk to families, you can talk to a stranger, but nobody's going to help you deal with the pain, the sorrow, the anger, the other issues you have, more than a professional, because they know how to help you.
Yep. That is so true. That I you know how like when you feel like you're okay until one day you have a break until one day you have a breakdown and you're like, I thought I was good. Like one day I was just sitting there and then I just burst out in tears crying. And I didn't know why I was crying. So that's all. I was like,
Yeah,
I think I need to talk to somebody.
exactly, Marlene. That's exactly what happened to me. To me, it was more of I had a massive, I think it was an anxiety attack or a panic
Mm.
attack. I'm not sure. They say it was an anxiety attack, but I felt like more like a panic attack. And I couldn't get back from it. And I ended up in the hospital. And, you know, and it came out of nowhere. I was brooming, I was cleaning my house, I was brooming. And normally, when those thoughts of whatever has happened in your past, whenever they came to me, I will distract myself. I will think about something else. I will push him back, push him back, push him back, and say, no, 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 not today, not today, not today.
Right.
But that day, I guess I wasn't really paying attention, and I allowed everything to come. And that's when I went into that
Okay.
attack. And from then on, I said, I'm broken. I do need help.
Mm.
And it's something that you need to accept. And the faster you do it, and the sooner you do it, the better the outcome is.
Yep. Yeah, and I will say that anybody who I don't tell anybody what to do. I don't force my thoughts on to anybody else. I'm not telling anybody what to do, but we're just sharing what has helped us. And I can
Hmm.
say that if it wasn't for therapy, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Same goes here. This is my own way of thinking, my own opinion. It has nothing to do with Marlene or anybody else. I'm not forcing it up on anyone. I'm just letting you, Marlene, and everybody know what helped me, because I had a lot of friends to talk to. I had a lot of colleagues to talk to, but it's just a talk. They don't, they didn't give me, I should say, the tools to address what I was going through, until I went to, to seek the help that I needed. That's when I started learning how to cope with everything and how to work on my anxiety or my panic attacks or my whatever it is that I was going through, my anger, my fears, my inability to trust, fully trust.
Right.
I used to give people passes, right? Like I will kind of trust you. I'll give you my friendship with like 40% of trust, no, maybe 30. And then if you do something right away, I will block you. That's it. No more chances.
Mm-hmm.
That was
I
me.
I know that well. Hmm. That was me too.
And
Hold
I
on.
was,
Let me acknowledge the newest member. Hi, Jinx Journal. Welcome to membership. If you have headphones in Nexi, I'm
uh-oh,
about to play a clip.
they're out.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Jinx Journal. Welcome to membership.
That panda is not loud. It's not
Oh,
like
okay.
somebody else's
I
massive.
just, I just wanted to make sure anybody who's, I try to give a warning.
At least you try. But yeah, and the thing is that by the time I seek the help I needed and everything, I already had children. I had my kiddos already, and I noticed that all those fears and some of the ways I was thinking, I was acting, it was affecting, it was being transferred to them.
Mhm.
And I was like, no, 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 I cannot let this happen to my kids. So that even motivated me even more, to seek the help I needed, because the last thing you want to do is to leave, your legacy in this world broken too.
Yeah, yeah. That's the whole thing about it is that if you don't fix things, you're going to make a cycle of pain, generational. It's going to be like a, not a curse, but it's going to be a cycle of brokenness in your family. And I had to do the same thing in my family because I didn't grow up having conversations. We didn't communicate about our feelings. Everybody was just in their own world, and everybody does what they want to do, but everybody else was in their feelings and everybody's upset about something, but nobody would communicate it. So it had to start with me. I said, this is crazy. We need to tell each other when we make each other mad and upset, and we need to set boundaries. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I bet that conversation was
Oh,
probably very hard.
oh, oh. And it was like, everybody's like, oh, what are you talking about? You got crazy when you went to therapy. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Communicate and feelings. There's like, So it was a lot, but it had to
Pushback.
start. Yeah, it was a lot of pushback because they just didn't weren't on board. But when they started saying, you know, it feels good that to have boundaries, I was like, feels good. I was like, for real? Yeah, because when you have boundaries, it does make you feel good because people won't do things and you won't get offended all the time. If people know where you stand, they know what you don't like and they won't do it. But when you don't tell people what your triggers are or what you don't like, and when they do it, then you get upset. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah, I think it's one of the hardest conversations because I had to have it with my family as well. And the thing is that when I had it with the person that I thought had the least affected me, that person completely blocked me. Like, no, I didn't. It's all you. Um, that's that's on you. That's your way of thinking. That's your problem. But as far as I know, I never did anything wrong. That
Oh,
took me back to more sessions because I needed to accept that that person was never going to change. That person was never going to accept her fault in this matter. So, but I did get a lot of uh, out of it for myself. Like you said, we're not promoting this. We're not telling people what to do. We're not. But I did get a lot of help from it. I didn't know how sick I was, Marlene, until I started going through it.
yeah.
And it is a sickness. I'm sorry, but it is. This fears. I had to have my kids, at sight, at arm's length. I didn't trust anyone with them. I was very, very broken.
and
How
and
about
you
you?
you don't feel like you were toxic
Mm-mm.
until my therapist called me out on something, and she was like, and I was like, because I had okay, I come from a big family with I have 9 siblings, and I never got any individual time. It was, of course not, because my mom and dad were always, taking care of everybody. So that's why I used to always be, everybody say, dramatic. I was not dramatic. I was trying to get their attention. Like, hello, can somebody see me?
Yeah.
And that's the only way in our family that you would get attention. You had to do something. And I had to learn that you don't have to do anything to get attention. Just say, can someone spend some time with me? Can someone talk to me? You know, I learned healthier tools.
Yeah, and that I think that's like see that's important because when you get called out on something, like when I was going through the process of getting a therapist, I actually, in fact, I don't know if you did this, but I went to like four, and I had to get the one that I was most comfortable with. I couldn't just set on one. My friend gave me my mentor actually. He gave me a couple of his friends, and then his wife, who's also a therapist. I went to her as well, so that's three. And I ended up going back to my mentor because he is a psychologist as well. But because I had to make sure that I thought that I was going to be able to convince him that there was nothing wrong with me
You did that
because he was
too?
my teacher. Yeah, he was my teacher and my mentor, and I was going to convince him that not that there was nothing wrong with me, but that the person that I least expected, remember I said that, was the problem in me. Okay, so I was going to convince him that that's not what it was, that I was okay with that person leaving, that I was okay. Like, just write me a note. I'm cool. I'm okay. Cool.
Yeah. So just give me
Perfect.
a pass. I'm good, right?
Yeah, I'm a perfect specimen. What else can I tell you? My daddy always said I was. So you so when he called me out on my bluff, I it took me first of all, I stormed out of the office. I was very upset because I was like,
Oh,
he's not getting me. He's not getting me. It's not that. That's not the problem. And I came back to my next session, and I we talked some more, and very like politely he said, have you given any more thought to what I said to you last time? I said, but it's not that. I'm not angry about that. I'm not. And he said, okay, we need to work on that. And eventually it came to me like a lightning, like when lightning hits you, like you get all electrocuted. And it came
yeah.
down to that was the core, that was the main problem for me, or the main, I guess, affliction, the main thing that was affecting me. And once I started working on that, And then I accepted that no matter what I say to that person, she was never going to take accountability for it. She was never going to accept that she had hurt me, that she did abandon me, and that she did a lot of damage in me. And but the minute I accepted that, Marlene, I was fine. I was ready to move on.
Yeah, but one of the best tools that helped me was when you tell people that they hurt you, it's not with the expectation that they're going to make any changes. You're telling them how you feel, what your experience was, not in for them to say I'm sorry or admit what they've done. No, it's so that you can release it and stop carrying it around with you.
Yeah.
Because I thought once I said, "Oh, you hurt me," "Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh,
Hmm.
I should not have done that to you." You know how like we have a perfect
Scenario in our heads.
yeah, and then they're like, "What are you talking about? You're crazy. That's not how it went." And I didn't do
Yes.
anything, and you're like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah. Exactly. And that's the same way I was thinking. Exactly what you said. I was thinking this person was going to own up to it. And then I was magically going to be cured of everything that was wrong with me. But there was more coming.
Yeah.
Because
Hmm.
the side effect of when a person that you trust and you love and hurts you, the side effects or that is like a chain reaction, it's like
Hmm.
a domino effect.
Yeah.
It damages more than you think, more than you understand. And that's why when I went to confront, that's what I expected too. I expected that person to say, I'm sorry, give me a hug, and I'm very sorry. And when I went back to my therapist, I said, she didn't do that. And he said, and you expected her to? And I was like, well, I don't know. He's like, no, this wasn't for her. It was for
For
you.
you. Hmm.
He says, I guided, we're working on you. So whatever you do, don't expect anything from them. This is for you to release and learn to speak and ask for what you want and need.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, you tricked
Yeah.
me. Okay, okay. But,
Yeah, my therapist told me it's for me to get my power back, and
mm,
because when you don't tell people how you feel, they have power over you, and you're all upset and yeah, and I can't believe it, and they have no idea because you haven't told them. We magically think that oh they know what they did to me.
mm-hmm.
That's what I was saying. You know what you did. You know what.
You know what you're guilty of.
And it's nothing like that.
Yeah, it's not. And that's the thing though. And that's what I say because I have talked to friends. I have two best friends that know my life story, but talking to them did not help me as much as going to a therapist. But
Mhm.
that worked for me, right? I'm not telling people to do that. I'm not asking anyone to just drop everything and go get a therapist. They are expensive, so I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that for me, even though I have a good support system, I have my father who knew, well, I had my daddy who knew all of what happened, and to an extent he knew that I needed it help, that we all needed it help.
Mhm.
My sisters, my siblings, but it's not the same. It's not the same because,
Mhm.
like I said, they can listen to you and they can give you their opinion on what they are doing to get, according to them, better. But
Mhm.
that's for them. How does that work for me? How does that help me? You're not listening, which is why we tell people, you're not listening, you're not hearing me. You're not listening to what I'm trying to tell you. And it's not that they're not listening, it's just that they cannot help you the way you want them to.
Yeah, I had to
I'm
learn. I
sorry.
had oh
I'm taking over your show. I'm so sorry, Marty.
that's okay. You have to learn that everything is not going to be how you want it to be. It's about you getting healthier. It's about you standing up for yourself, having enough courage to say how you feel, setting boundaries with people, and only letting them go so far. And then after that, you're like, nope, I don't want to hear anymore, and cut people off. And that's what I had to learn to do because I didn't know how to say no. I didn't know how to put in boundaries. And when, like, I had a problem, like, if somebody would say, oh, oh, why can't you help me? And I knew that I could help them, I would feel guilty. And my therapist was like, why? Uh, it's normal to say no. You can't go. You're not a robot. So I had to learn to be okay with my no, and I had to be okay with boundaries without having the guilt.
Yeah, exactly. And those are the tools that they, that they teach you. It's like you said, to get your power back.
Hmm.
I had to, I don't have a problem saying no to people if I don't want to do something, but I think the way I say it sometimes is what I had to work on, because that deliverance, that the way I was delivering that, it was rude, it was mean, it was hurtful to others, and it
Hmm.
was a defense mechanism, right? I cannot help you, and but the way I was doing it, it wasn't right. So I had to work on a lot of things that I had no idea that I was making others feel, hurt them, or not, or feel like they weren't being heard by me, so I had to learn all of that, even though I was just going for the one thing that I thought it was wrong with me, and there was something else entirely wrong with, like the problem wasn't just that, it was something else that I wasn't dealing with,
Hmm.
because according to me, I was only 5 when it happened, so I don't need to deal with it. I have already forgotten it, right? At this point, I'm in my 30s. Oh, I forgot about that. I don't.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not a
gone.
problem. That's not a problem. That's not even trauma. It's gone. It's gone. I don't care. I never cared. So you start saying that to yourself.
Hmm.
But all that came to surface, and it made me a better person. It made me a better sister, to my sisters and my brothers, a better auntie, a better cousin, a better mom, and a better friend. And that is the beautiful thing you get from that, is that it makes you an overall better version of yourself. A lot of people are afraid of going to therapy because they feel like they're going to change, that the therapists are going to brainwash them and change the way they think or whatever. No, no, no. They just polish you into a better version of you.
But I also must say that you have to find the right therapist.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you don't find a person who matches with your values and belief system, if it's somebody like, see, I'm the type of person, I couldn't have a person who was too nice to me because I would have ran over them because I'm naturally an aggressive person. So if so, oh yeah, and you're right. No, I need someone. No, listen, this is what you've done. That's the therapist that I needed. I had to have a therapist that was like a bulldog. So it depends on you and what's your personality and you seeking. I had to go through a few people before I found the person that I found that was right for me.
Yeah, exactly. But you see, with that mentality that I have to find that, that's what I thought about my therapist. Oh, I could get away with it. He wouldn't even know what hit him.
Yeah.
But but he is a very soft spoken, very mellow. Like, you will never ever think that person could not be fooled
Yeah,
by
like
me.
I know
And,
exactly what you're doing.
and
Hmm.
in his own little, like, polite and soft voice, and the minute I say no, it wasn't that, he will say, think about it again. Okay, let's go back to the process. Okay, get your notes out. Let's go back to exactly what.
Yeah.
and I thought I was gonna get away with it because he's so soft. No, 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 no. I was like, oh, I thought I was gonna run all over him a couple of laps,
Yeah.
and that was it. I was right. He didn't know what was wrong with me. That's what I had in my mind. I was gonna come out and say, "You see, therapy doesn't work. I was right."
Yeah. Well, I had one that she just came out and told me, and she was like, because I was saying, and this person does that, and she's looking at me like, well, and she said, but Marlene, but you're the problem. I picked up my purse and I stormed out of there. I was like, oh, I'm the problem. They're the problem. And I talked about 30 minutes all the way home talking to myself. And who does she think she is? She needs to go back to school.
And then you go to your second and says, Marlene, you are the problem.
No, and then it hit me like 2 days later, like, oh, yeah, about that.
Yeah,
You have
there
to
you.
deal with your ego.
Mm-hmm. Leave it at the doorstep. As soon as you
Yeah.
walk in, you take off, your ego and put it on, on the coat hanger and pick it up on your way out if you want to. But to be honest, once you start peeling those layers, off those layers, you start seeing your real you. The one that is broken but is working to get better.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think that that's the most important thing. And that's why I wanted to have this discussion and talk about it, because it's very important for us to heal from our past. And any encouraging tips that you would like to give in finality to the audience to help them to feel supported and heard.
I think the only thing I can say is that yelling, screaming, throwing tantrums, disrespectful words are not going to get you anywhere. If you want to make a change in your either friendships, marriages, or with your children or family members, you need to sit down to an adult talk. Pour out your feelings and don't expect anything back. Just pour them out. Exactly what, make up a list of things that you like and dislike and go over that and just ask them to listen to you, in a nice way, of course. And then go over it and just let it be. Give them time to process what you have said. And then if they want to talk to you again, do it with respect. I think that's the best way to get your point across.
Awesome discussion. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Nexie, for opening
Thank
up.
Thank you, Marlene. Sharing. Thank you for having me. You have a wonderful week.
Yes, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And to everyone who was in the chat today, and those of you who are watching on the replay, I hope that you're getting the much needed support and encouragement so that you can heal from your past, because you definitely deserve to heal from your past and to feel good about yourself, to experience pain, to experience peace and not pain. Love on yourself. Remember to always be your own best friend. And I got to say thank you to everybody who came in, Jinx Journalist, Mr. Terry, Nexie, Simple Things. Let's see who else came in the chat. East Dad, Dee Dee. Yes, and Jinx, welcome to membership. Make sure you check out the members only on the community tab, the videos, lives, and other posts. And Wellness with Frugal Mama. And I don't know if I missed anybody else. I don't think it's going. Oh, and Miss V. And Nancy. So thank you all so much. I'll see you guys back on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, like I always say, every single video, story time, and live stream, just know it. Just breathe it and be it and live your best life. And of course, to get further support, join my channel membership. And I will see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. And thank you so much, Nexi, for the super chat. The super chat. Pause, please, when the super chat hits.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? Forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? Ooh, yeah.